Welcome back to Visionary Ventures, where today we're joined by Danya Taha Khadija, a holistic nutrition expert specializing in women's health and hormones. Danya's transition from the fashion industry to the full time health coaching has empowered women to achieve their health goals through personalized wellness strategies. Let's dive into her journey and uncover her insights into holistic health. First of all, Danya, thanks a lot for being here on the second episode of this season. It's a pleasure to host you.
Thank you, Carl. It's a pleasure to be here. I love what you're doing. I think it's a great initiative, and I'm super excited to get the ball rolling.
Thank you. And I know that you're leaving your duties and mama duties now on the side just to record this episode. So
Yeah.
we're gonna try to make the best out of it. Before we get into what you're doing and the business and all of that, I'm really interested to know more about Dania, the person, and your journey and how you arrived here. So, reflecting on your diverse experiences, how have they shaped your problem solving and decision making skills in holistic health?
Wow. So basically, I honestly believe that everything happens for a reason, nothing happens by mistake, right? So all my life, ever since the age of 13, I really suffered with hormonal imbalances. And from 13 till up till 5 years ago, I thought this was the biggest burden on my life. And look at what the universe had in store for me. I turned that burden into one of the biggest successes of my life, not just my career, but just that feeling that I'm able to help women in a way that I wish I was helped at the time, and in a way where I'm giving back. This alone is like the biggest satisfaction ever and the biggest gratification. So I really do believe that everything happens for a reason, and I turned my burden into something incredible, thank God.
Was it an easy decision back then to take?
It was the easiest decision without a doubt because look, I really do believe that the universe is always on your side. When you when you trust it and when you put all your faith into it, it'll give you signs. So basically, I was in the fashion industry for 8 years and it was great, and I really do appreciate what I went through. But when I decided to heal my body, because basically, to make a long story short, I suffered with polycystic ovarian syndrome ever since the age of 13. Basically, I wouldn't menstruate every month like a typical girl. I would get my period maybe just 2 or 3 times a year. And then when I decided to get married, I had infertility issues and the works. So when I decided to take matters into my own hands and to heal my body, and I met with different holistic nutritionists, and I saw results within 2 months, I was mind blown. At first, I thought it was just, okay, maybe this is just beginner's luck, but 2 months into it, I had a regular cycle. My bloating was gone, my allergies were gone, my skin rashes were gone. I was just feeling like a better person. And then month after month, it just started to get better. And then when a year into it, I got pregnant when every doctor basically told me that you will never be able to conceive without synthetic hormones. And I did it without synthetic hormones. That was the biggest sign. It's like, Danya, whatever you're doing today, just stop. Because when I would sit with my friends and have conversations, I would just talk about holistic health all the time. And I was in the fashion industry, and my friends were like, Danya, what are you doing? Like, you're so passionate about this subject that you're not even in. Quit your job, study, and become a holistic nutritionist. And that was the biggest sign. When I got pregnant, I was like, Khalas, I'm going to do it. And it was the best decision.
What a shift and
Yeah.
what a quick decision to take. But yeah, I truly believe, yeah, it's obvious all the reasons behind it and why you've done it. And I salute you on that. However, let's go to somewhere more on how do you like manage your daily stress and maintain mental clarity,
I
especially
med
nowadays with all the responsibilities that you have?
So yes, I have three children. I have three girls, twins, and then a baby girl who's 2.5. So yes, I mean, being being the owner of my own business, entrepreneur, if you want to call it, and a mother of three, and a wife, and a homemaker, and everything together, I have to meditate. I mean, if I don't start my day, or at least in the middle of my day, of just 10 or 15 minutes of my eyes not focused on a screen or focused on a conversation with someone, just alone, sometimes listening to a guided meditation or just doing breathing techniques alone with my thoughts. This is what keeps me grounded. That's number one. Number two is, like I said in the beginning, a lot of spirituality, a lot of faith,
We're
belief,
gonna get
because,
into all the philosophical and spiritual matters just in a few.
yeah.
Don't give out all the juices
Okay.
right now.
Okay, great. So that's it. Those are the main two that keep me going, thank God. And of course, exercise and taking care of my body and eating the right foods that give me the best energy. So all of this together.
Obviously that.
Yeah, thank
Obviously
you.
that. So okay. And what about your background in marketing? Does it really influence your current approach to educating clients per se?
So it definitely helped me in terms of when I launched my business on social media, because when I first started health coaching, I wanted to be as organic as possible. I didn't have an Instagram account. I was just relying on word of mouth. Obviously, we know that the best measure of success is if you get one client and that client brings in, let's say, 10 other clients, right? So I kept doing that for a good while, and it did prove that my idea was needed in the market, and I kept growing. And then when I launched my social media page, definitely my marketing background came in handy. Yeah, did that
We'll
answer the
get
question?
Yes, and we're gonna get into a bit more strategic marketing or any approaches that you're currently taking. I'm interested to know what's in store on that end as well. Moving to a bit on the physical health. So, what are the routines or practices that you follow to ensure your physical health is prioritized?
So first of all, I sleep well, because this whole being an entrepreneur but running on 2 to 3 hours of sleep, and that's like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for your brain cells, for your being able to function, for your well-being. We need minimum 7 hours of sleep. It's proven that people that run on 5 or 6 hours, even if they think they're fine, that's actually setting them up for body failure in the future. So 5 to 6 hours is absolutely not enough. So I get around 7 to 8. That's number one. Number two, extremely well hydrated, especially since I live in Saudi, Riyadh, so it's very dry. So you could see my bottle is always next to me. That's not, and I wake up and I just hydrate myself. That's the most important thing. And then number three, I fuel myself. So food is medicine, and this is my whole philosophy. This is the reason that holistic nutrition is so successful, is because I tell people food is the base. So they think they're going to come to me. Sometimes a lot of people think that I'm going to just start giving out supplements and powders and whatever. And I'm like, guys, these supplements are just the cherry on top. The base, the cake is food. So when you fuel your body with the right foods and you remove the inflammatories, because my whole practice is about the anti-inflammatory lifestyle, that is really what makes me feel the best I could ever feel. That is what balanced my hormones. That's what removed my allergies and what strengthened my immunity. And then number four is exercise. So we have to move our bodies nowadays. Like, you can see that people have become so sedentary in their lifestyle, always sitting on a chair, on a couch, in a car, in a bed, and we're not moving. And that's not how the human body was made to be. We need to get in our steps a day. We need to be strengthening our muscles. So that's number four. And then number five, like I said, the cherry on top, taking the right supplements, because Unfortunately, a green apple, for example, a green apple today in 2024 does not have the same nutrients that a green apple had in the 80s or 90s. So, as much as even if we're eating organic, our soil is different nowadays. So, we do have to supplement, but to supplement correctly with the right, because yeah, you can walk into a pharmacy and there's tons of supplements there. It's not about just getting anything off the shelf, it's about knowing the quality, the purity, the source. So, I'm very picky about my supplements. I don't take like 20 supplements a day. I alternate, I shift. I take a good amount that's sustainable, so I don't feel like I'm pill popping all day whatsoever. And yeah, I think that's everything.
You really summed it up, and it sounds like a lot of work, but I truly know that it's the right lifestyle to go at, and we have to prioritize ourselves and our health because that's what will sustain us eventually. It's not only about our businesses and our drive forward. However, we tend to neglect it, and I'm the first one to really say it out loud that, yeah, I do my best, but I have my flaws. Danya, tell me more about your routine, like per se. Let's get into what does Danya eat on a daily basis, like any specific breakfast to go to.
Yeah. So I eat everything. I don't. I'm not like I don't cut out major food groups. I make sure to remove the inflammatory. So I'm gonna start with what I do eat, and then I'll tell you what I don't eat. I eat organic eggs, pasture raised eggs, almost on a daily basis. I eat a lot of good fibers, so chia and flax. So let's say, for example, I wake up in the morning, I have my warm water that has half a squeeze of lemon and a bit of like sea salt or just a good type of salty mineral, and then that is just going to hydrate me and give me the electrolytes that I need, especially after 7 to 8 hours of sleeping, and I was considered fasting, right? So after I hydrate, I wait a bit because I never mix a lot of water with food. So, like, side note, the biggest mistake I see people making is that they're just chugging a bunch of water while they're having their meal, or Perrier or a soda or any liquid. And this, honestly, it just depletes the digestive enzymes and the acid that is going to break down and digest your food properly. So, always make sure that water and food
Good
are
to know that. Yeah.
30 minutes away. So after I hydrate and I took that time to meditate or get my day ready, I drop off my kids to school. And then when I come back, I head to the gym immediately. So I get that out of the way because I feel that the best time to work out is in the morning rather than at night. Obviously, after you work out, you're just getting a bunch of energy and the good feel good hormones that you need during the day, you don't need them at night. Get my workout out of the way. And did I mention when I have breakfast or no?
Not yet.
Ah, sorry. Okay, so drink water, 10-minute meditation, drop my kids to school, have breakfast.
Sports.
No,
Have breakfast, then okay.
and then I do sports. It was actually till recently, it was breakfast and then sports because for a long time I was working out fasting. For weight loss reasons, you could do that. But after maintenance wise, the best form of exercise is when your body is fueled. You will have much more energy to put forth. So now I'm having breakfast and then I work out. It depends because my workout is strength training, so I'm not like jumping a lot, so I don't have to wait a long time between breakfast and my workout.
And you're working out every day, every morning?
I work out 5 times a week. So I do 3 times strength training at the gym, and then I do 2 times Ligris, a form of
That is new.
Pilates. Yeah, we call it, I call it Pilates on steroids. So it's like just an intense form of Pilates. It's amazing. I love it. So I do Ligris twice a week with 3 times strength training, and then I make sure I walk a lot. So even on the days that I work out, I allocate time to walk. It's actually a form of meditation for me. And on
Outdoors
the
or on a treadmill? Because
outdoors,
living in the GCC might be a bit hard to walk
I
outdoors, right?
I know. Right now in the summer, honestly, at 7:30, 8 p.m., the weather is manageable, and I'll just take like a 30-minute walk then. And then you have the rest of the year where, yeah, the weather is very nice. And in the summer, I'm not in the GCC, so that helps. Actually, in the summer is when I walk the most. I realize summertime I'm walking 20,000 steps a day because I'm in Europe, so it's excellent. So anyways, so I make sure to walk, and then the 2 days that I'm resting, obviously I'm resting, and I prioritize walking. After
Nice.
my workout, yeah, after my workout, I shower and I get ready to take on my clients for the day. I have my clients back to back, and I absolutely love it. I literally like can't wait, and I look forward to seeing every client because every week that I see her, because I just have women clients, I I can't wait to hear the feedback and how her body is changing week after week. And then I take a break and go pick up my kids from school. We have lunch together. That's our quality time together. And after that, I go back in the afternoon to having a couple clients, and then we.
What kind of lunch will it be? Like a
Okay,
typical
so
lunch. We know the breakfast is organic
eggs,
pasteurized eggs.
or sometimes for breakfast, chia pudding, or sometimes a smoothie. It all depends. Lunch is a lot of Lebanese food, like our Lebanese yakhne, our stews, lubia, mlukhiyeh, bazalla ورز, كلهم. This is the
Okay.
healthiest thing you can imagine. I definitely make sure that the amount of animal protein I'm having in my lunch is not like for example, if I'm having mlukhiyeh, the shredded chicken is not enough. So I make sure that like I have an organic chicken breast on the side to have around 200 grams of protein, of the animal protein, during my meal. And I have my veggies and I have my whole grains if it's white rice, brown rice, or quinoa. And they're all portioned. So I portion size a lot. This is for maintenance or for weight loss goals. And yeah, so that's my lunch. And then after lunch, like an hour later, I would have a tea. I don't snack.
I wanted to ask you about
No,
snacking. Yeah.
no,
No
I don't
snacking.
snack.
Three meals
Not
a
at
day?
all. Yes, 3 meals a day. I don't believe in snacking because I feel that this is why. Okay, nutrition is funny in the sense where there's over 100 different diets, and every person thinks that their diet is the best diet to abide by, and rightfully so. I mean, there could be many different opinions. No one is really right or wrong. It all depends on what works for your body type. But it's funny in the sense where, like, many 5, 6 years ago, there was like this nutrition trend where let's have small meals every 2 to 3 hours. Do you remember hearing something like that?
Yeah.
And
I
now
even tried it. 7 meals a day.
Oh my God. Well, now we understand why in 2024 everyone is on metformin and Ozempic and like having insulin resistance, because when
Yeah.
you snack or eat every 2 hours, your insulin is going to be working constantly to take that sugar out of your bloodstream, and that's what causes insulin resistance. So it's 3 meals spaced out. I have a very early dinner, very early. I mean, compared to the Middle East where people have dinner at 9:30, I have dinner with my kids at 6:37. And that's it.
I'm trying to do 7 p.m.
Yeah.
dinners. Yeah. I feel it's
It's
better. Since also I'm trying to sleep earlier and try to do it before midnight. Sometimes it's not that easy, but yeah, trying to get the 7 hours in. And mentioning these different diets, I personally have done all diet kinds in the world. I believe since I was young, I was a chubby boy. Then I tried everything. Then I went into my physical fitness journey, and I went down. um, I was fit, then I had an injury, then I went into another cycle. So, a lot of ups and downs, and I know that it's not a straightforward journey, and everyone has their own specifications.
yeah.
But what's working for you is for you, and what will work for someone else, I believe, should be tailored to their lifestyle, to their needs, and all of that. However, I do agree that we eat a lot. We humans overeat all the time. And I'm not finding like the right explanation to it, because why do we need all that food? We don't. Like, I've been fasting for 2 days a week now.
Good.
Uh, I'm trying to eat less portions, of course, high proteins all the time, and trying to really focus on what am I consuming. And this is a huge part of what I'm currently doing. And thank you for that reminder, Danya.
That's excellent.
We just missed on one small point. What's for dinner usually?
So dinner is my smallest meal. So what I always tell my clients is that I have breakfast like a king, I have lunch like a prince, and I have dinner like a pauper. So because I started my day with around 30 grams of protein, and because my lunch is, as I said it was, I can easily go to dinner time and I'm not that hungry if I have a bowl of soup. So a lot of times I'm having soups for dinner. Or just, for example, sardines. Sardines for me are a superfood. I know a lot of people don't like them, but if you can change your palate and try to like them, like it's full of calcium, protein, you name it. So I would have some sardines with some like a sourdough or some buckwheat crackers. It depends, or some wild caught tuna. I'd have like a salmon fillet with some like broccoli on the side, something just super light, veggie and protein. I don't have a lot of rice or whole grains at night, and it's just my smallest meal because I want to really like be spending my nights sleeping, resting, and repairing rather than digesting. And if, of course, we go out for dinner and I end up having a late dinner, it's fine. I'll push my breakfast the next day. So I always make sure that I'm fasting a minimum of 12 hours, a maximum of 14 hours. I never do more than 14 because then that's into like extreme intermittent fasting, and that actually plays a lot with women's hormones. So I always tell women in their fertile years they should try to avoid intermittent fasting. And if they do choose to fast, don't let it be where they start their meal late in the day and keep eating till the night. It should be the opposite, where they have breakfast, they have lunch, and then stop eating at night till the next day. So to listen to your body and to go with your circadian rhythm, that's the way it's supposed to be. We shouldn't be eating when it's nighttime, anyways. So yeah, that's for dinner. And after dinner, I have a tea. I always have a million different teas, all caffeine free, and I go to bed.
Any specific tea that you recommend?
There are so many right now. I
What's your
mean,
go-to tea? Like,
right now I'm into Rui. Am I pronouncing it properly? Rooibos.
okay.
It's amazing. It enhances your immunity. It's caffeine free. I love it. I have some hibiscus tea. I have some Ceylon cinnamon tea. So it all depends. Some spearmint tea. So it just depends what I'm in the mood for.
And do you have any like health tips and tricks that you would like to share with the women listening to us?
I mean, I think everything I just said is a lot of.
Something like to add, to tweak. I don't know. Do you believe like in ACV, apple cider vinegar?
I do. I do.
Um,
I do. So yeah, definitely. Like if you're okay, this is some tips that I could tell women. Listen to your body. Okay, and listen to your body in the sense where your body talks to you. In today's world, it's the norm to always be bloated, to always be fatigued, to barely run on any sleep, and to have low energy in the day, and to not be able to function without 2 to 3 coffees a day, and to have insane sugar cravings. Okay, this is now have become it's become the norm, unfortunately. I want you guys to understand that that little voice inside your head when you tell yourself, I could do better. Okay, when you're sitting ordering a Diet Coke, just that little voice, if it comes up and say, why did you order this right now? Or when you just devoured that whole dessert, that little voice saying, did you really have to do that? Listen to that voice and act upon it. Don't just brush it aside. Because those little decisions that you make today are the reason for all the symptoms that you're complaining about. And no medication or pill is going to remove those symptoms so you can be able to keep living the life the way you're living, and then you're just going to take some magic pill and they're just all going to disappear. I wish
Like
it
the
was true.
Ozempic craze and all of that.
Exactly. They all have side effects. And just honestly, fueling your body with the right food. So remember, I said I'm going to tell you what I do eat and then I'll tell you what I don't eat. I don't have gluten. All right. I don't
Okay.
have celiac disease, but I know that gluten is an inflammatory. And just by removing gluten alone, my bloating was gone. I felt slimmer. I felt healthier. My energy came back. So people that have arthritis, just by removing gluten, they feel so much better. So I don't have gluten and I don't have dairy. In specific, I don't have cow dairy. It's not about the lactose, it's about the protein in cow dairy, which is called casein. 80% of the human population, our body was not meant to digest cow dairy. So when you remove that, people that suffer from
Even
acne,
aged cheese?
yeah, it depends the cow, it depends where that cow came from, it depends on a
Yeah,
lot
we
of
cannot
things.
inspect all the cows
We
out
can't
there.
expect exactly. But look, if it was like raw, unpasteurized milk from a local farm, maybe I would have it. Yes, for sure. But right now, the commercial dairy and milk that you find in the supermarkets, this is what's causing the excess sebum on the face, causing acne, causing sinus problems because dairy produces extra mucus, causing the bloating and a lot of hormonal imbalances. So, yeah. So I remove gluten, dairy, and these are not in order. I'm just saying what I don't have. I don't have refined sugar. So white sugar, brown sugar. I mean,
But you
there was
still
this.
get fruits, right? You
Yeah,
still
for
eat
sure.
fruits. Okay.
Of course, fruits, dates, but in moderation, because obviously, like the glycemic index of dates is 90. So I'm not going to just be having 3 or 5 dates a day, but in moderation, that's totally fine. And so I get natural sugars from honey, from grade A maple syrup, sometimes coconut sugar. That's fine, but I don't have refined white or brown sugar. And obviously, alcohol a lot, like in moderation, like really on occasion, just when I feel like it's not a weekly thing. It's not. Sometimes it's not even a monthly thing. I don't have processed foods. I have 1 cup of caffeine a day after breakfast.
Any specific type of caffeine?
So matcha.
Matcha, okay.
Matcha, and I love it. I think it's. I mean, now there's new studies showing that matcha actually kills breast cancer cells.
Oof,
So
okay.
this is just incredible. So yeah, I have matcha because it's an amazing antioxidant, and the specific one I get has to be like ceremonial grade matcha. So, and just like really look at the color of your matcha. The greener the matcha, the better, the higher quality. So yeah, have 1 cup of coffee a day, no processed foods, sugar, dairy, gluten. I mean, that's mainly what I eliminate, and then I eat everything else. And yeah,
What about cravings, Danya? That's a lovely lifestyle and it's all nice and structured and polished and balanced, but we all have cravings. What do we
we
do
all
in
do.
that case?
We all do. So I don't live to perfection. I am not like this 100% of my time. I don't believe in that. There is no such thing as perfection. I live 80 to 90% what I just described, and then I leave 10 to 20% of room for guilt-free indulgences. I don't like to call them a cheat meal. I call them guilt-free indulgences. I feel like having a burger. I feel like having whatever dessert. I'll have it guilt-free. I enjoyed it. As soon as I get off the table, that meal was done. It doesn't turn into a full day. And I always remember that that indulgence meal that I felt like having right now, it will still be there next week or 2 weeks from now or whenever I feel like having it again. I don't need to continue having it for the rest of the day. So that's one. Two, your body doesn't care about what you do 10% of your week. If you had that indulgence meal once or even twice a week, but 80 to 90% of your week was super healthy and you were eating on point, that's what your body, that's what matters. And that's what's going to show. Obviously, if those indulgence meals become once every 2 days, then obviously we're going to get the
Yeah.
symptoms that we always get. So that's second.
So
Third,
it's all about balancing and
yeah, it's all about balance. But I also wanted to say something. Sugar really is the enemy. There was a study done to see what is more addictive, was it heroin or sugar? And both heroin and sugar came up to be on the same line, as
wow.
addictive as each other. So when I see people that tell me I have an insane sugar addiction, I don't know what to do, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not because there's something wrong with you. Sugar is so highly addictive. So obviously, if you just make it a point to say I'm going to quit sugar, and you give yourself at least 3 weeks, because it's not going to happen overnight. The first 5 days are the hardest. When you make it through and you prioritize protein, and there's a lot of hacks that I give my clients to manage those sugar cravings the first 5 days of withdrawals so they don't have a lot of withdrawal symptoms. Once you pass those 3 weeks of no sugar, it's it's amazing where you're just going to wake up and say, wow, I'm not craving sugar today. At the end of the day, you're going to look back at your day and say, really, I didn't have a gram of a dessert, and because my body didn't even ask for it.
Yeah. I know the feeling because I'm currently there. I stopped yeah, it's been almost 3 or 4 weeks now. Stop desserts and chocolate and bullshit stuff. So
Amazing.
yeah, I know the feeling, and thank you for sharing all these tips. They're amazing. Last question before we conclude everything like health and physical health related. What about all the trends that are going online, like drink apple cider vinegar before you eat, have I don't know which supplementation, uh, all these crazy hacks and a lot of lifestyle adding methods. Do you have any take about them?
If these hacks are going to cause you a headache, if these hacks are going to add any stress in your life, like, oh, I need to have this now, and this is the like you already life is stressful as it is, and already we have a lot on our plate. So what I say is try what you want, but if your food has not changed, it's not even worth trying those hacks. So those hacks come with changing your food and removing the inflammatories that I mentioned. If while you're doing those hacks, they've become like secondhand to you, and you're taking the apple cider vinegar 30 minutes before your meal because you truly enjoy the way it makes you feel, no bloating and that great digestion, and you're not taking it as a burden, then do it. Go for it. That's great. I applaud you. But if this whole thing of a 5 a.m. wake up club and then infrared sauna and then cold plunging and 15,000 steps a day, and it's not realistic. It's not realistic. I mean, I wish I could live that way, but obviously we can't unless I was in some remote area, not working and just focusing on my health the whole day. So just do what works for you. Try out the hacks if your food is on point, and just don't let anything stress you out, because then those hacks are not going to be beneficial, because what comes before all these hacks is your nervous system. So your nervous system always has to be stable, and then food comes next and hacks come next.
We identified two enemies so far: sugar and stress. That's moving on a bit towards some philosophical or spiritual stuff. I'm interested to know more about your beliefs and how they influence your professional decisions and leadership style in the health industry.
All right, my beliefs. So in terms of spirituality, I believe that it is such an important factor. So when I show my clients a plate and what that plate should look like in terms of your macros, how much protein, how much veggies, how much whole grains, I always make sure to show them that what comes before what's on your plate are the four most important factors of life. First, having spirituality. We are not meant to live on this earth carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we are not meant to live without believing in a higher purpose, because then that's a person who's just going to suffer 10 times more in his life, as opposed to someone who walks through life knowing that God or the universe or whatever that is to you is there with you to protect you, to help you, and that everything happens for a reason. Because life is always going to be hard. But when you walk through life with spirituality in your hand, it is easier. So I know I've been through a lot of traumatic events in my life. And when I look back, I say that it was honestly not as bad as I expected. And I came out of it with a smile on my face looking back because of my spirituality. So I would say to every person not knowing where they're at, religion is incredible and I love religion. And obviously, I'm in a mixed marriage religion. So religion is great, but what is needed is to have a relationship with, if you believe in God, to have a relationship with God, just to you don't have to do the specific practice of what your religion tells you, but all that's needed is just to talk to him and tell him that you're so grateful for your life, and to ask, or whatever it is, just to have a relationship with God. So I think that's very important. So going back to that plate, I say that the four most important factors that come before what's on your plate. So as I said, number one is spirituality. Number two is physical activity. We need to move. All right. So we can't be sedentary all day. Number three is a career. We need to have something to do. We need to have a purpose. It doesn't have to be being an employee or having your own business. Even being a mother, that's a career. And people underestimate that. That is the hardest job on earth.
It
So,
is.
so really, just having being productive and having something to wake up to every day. And then number four is having a community, having relationships, not just boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, but just having people that you love that ask about you, a good relationship with your mother, with your best friend, whoever it is, not being lonely. So those four things come before what we eat. When you make sure that you have those four things
So,
intact,
so you tackle these before you start getting into their diets, and
yeah.
so you tackle the whole lifestyle aspects.
Yes, definitely. I never take the place of, for example, if I feel like my clients need a psychologist or like something more in depth, I'll definitely refer, because at the end of the day, I'm in the nutrition industry. But yes, we always have to just make sure that those four are on point. And then when we make sure that they are, we'll deep dive into food.
Amazing, and I love it. And you mentioned also finding a purpose.
Yes.
Did you find yours?
What do you think?
What
I
is your
definitely.
purpose in life, Danya?
My purpose in life, first of all, my purpose before anything is to see my three girls grow up to be the best they could possibly be, and to have high confidence and to just love themselves. And that's my number one purpose before anything, just to raise good girls. My second purpose, I feel like my whole life is about females. My second purpose is what I do, to help women when they feel that they've tried every single diet and they've tried every single hack and just nothing is working for their body. It's not that I have this secret solution. I don't. Everything I preach is available on Google. It's about holding their hand. That's why I do my one-to-one 3-month programs with my clients, because I believe that having just a one-time session with someone and giving them all this load of information. Like imagine, Carl, if I told you today, okay, I want you to wake up tomorrow, no gluten, no dairy, no sugar, walk this, drink water, and exercise. Are you going to wake up and do it?
And I'll see you next month.
Imagine, and I'll see you next month. Okay, thanks. Like, no.
That was the industry, and these were the regular norms, by the way.
Exactly, I know. And that's what's sad. People need baby steps. Like you cannot do all this overnight, not even in a week or two. And if someone, a health coach like me, is holding your hand, taking you step by step, making it easy for you. I teach my clients a meal prep planning system. I give them over 40 different recipes, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, all made by me. So they know what to do in the kitchen. And even if they're not the ones cooking, the person cooking for them, it's easily easy to understand and to tackle. I give them the tools and the know-how, and I'm holding their hands so they really see how easy it is to take their health into control.
Can you give us? Sorry to cut you off. Can you give us like a moment where these practices significantly impacted someone's health and life?
Oh my God. The biggest,
Can you
I
share
have,
like one example,
I
something?
have so many. I have a success story of a woman like me in her 30s that also has polycystic ovarian syndrome and has never ovulated naturally. And always, in order to get her period, she had to take synthetic hormones like progesterone. And during my program, in less than 3 months, she ovulated and got her period naturally, which she's never seen her whole life. That's one. Two, I had a client who had several miscarriages and during my program got pregnant and months later gave birth. And then the one of an amazing success was also someone who had intense sugar cravings to the point where their body can't go more than 4 or 5 hours without a pump of sugar. So
Oof.
obviously, what's going to happen at night when they're in the middle of their sleep at 2 3 a.m. by themselves, their body just walks to the kitchen, eats a load of sugar, and goes back to
Wow.
bed.
I feel like we should
And
open sugar rehabs
we
instead
should.
of drug addicts.
I know, right? I mean, it's honestly not that hard. And she literally came to me saying, if you can just tackle this for me, that's all I need in life. And here she is, thriving, sugar free, feeling incredible in her body. These are just some small success stories. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. So
So you are changing lives, Danya. And I truly
thank you.
believe that your purpose, other than raising your children, being a great example, doing what you're doing as a mom, you are changing women's lives and you're affecting them in a very transformative way. And
Thank
it's
you.
a calling.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm very humbled and I'm glad that I'm able to give back.
Moving a bit towards marketing, I know you like the subject.
Yes.
As you like, given your role as a holistic health advisor, what strategies have you found most effective in promoting your services? Don't tell me social media.
You have to have a good product. Okay,
Okay.
that comes before anything. You can have an amazing marketing campaign and incredible people managing your social media account and a graphic designer and the best reels. But if your product is not what the market needs, is not in demand, and is not being easily adaptable to what people are asking for, you don't have much. Okay, so that's one. Something I always tell people, especially entrepreneurs that want to start their business, I tell them have an idea that you wholeheartedly believe in, that you know is needed, but you don't have to wait until your idea is complete to start. Because ideas are not born complete. Ideas, they shape and they form as you grow and as you build the business and as you know your customers better and as you test it in the market. So you can sometimes, a lot of people, they start with one thing, one idea in mind, and then they find themselves 2 years later, wow, this is actually far from what I originally imagined it to be. And 2 years later, you're very successful because you're molding your business into what is needed in the market. And it all started with this small idea that you didn't wait for it to be perfect in order to start.
What is your
Yeah.
product then? You're talking about the best product.
So my product was actually what I saw that really lacked in the industry was, I mean, yes, you have incredible dietitians for weight loss and calorie counting, which works great, especially for people that want to lose a ton of weight. But what was lacking was getting to the root cause of the problem. So many women at every lunch or brunch that I'm at complaining about bloating, about fatigue, about um, skin like not glowing and the pimples. And just I'm just looking at them and I'm like, and what are they saying? I went to this person and she gave me this pill. I'm on a round of antibiotics, not just for a week, for 6 months. And I'm looking like, wow, these medications are just going to make you feel worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until you burst. So I saw this lack of let's get to the root cause. Why are you tired? Why is your skin the way it is? Why it all stems from the gut.
Everything starts from the gut, Danya.
Yeah, honestly, yes. I mean, 90% of your happy hormones, the serotonin, the dopamine, stem from your gut. 90% of them. 70% of your immune system stems from your gut. That your gut is your second brain. So get to the root cause, fix your food. And while they're complaining about all of this, look at what they're eating. They have a Diet Coke, I don't know what, creme fraiche, whatever, and then they end it with the Nutella crepe. And it's like, and you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be awareness about this. To have this once in a while, no problem at all. But if this is your norm on a daily basis, something has to change. Okay. So how you promote your business? You want me to answer that? That
Yeah,
was
I'm
what I eat.
interested
Yeah.
about your marketing techniques, your approach to marketing. You have a background in marketing, which is great.
Yes.
What's next? And my question was, what's your product?
What was my product? So that was my product. That was the answer. My product is giving people a solution to their unwanted symptoms and getting to the root cause of the problem and treating it with food and lifestyle as medicine. This is my product. I teach people how to do that, how to live, and how this lifestyle becomes sustainable. Okay. Next question of my marketing tactics. So, number one is I'm not, first of all, you you can't please everyone, right? So obviously I'm good at what I do, and I'm sure I have a lot of clients that loved this program and maybe some that didn't. And that's totally okay. That never brings me down, that never puts me up. When I have a great testimonial, I get happy about it. But I mean, I'm always balanced in the sense where I believe in myself, I know what I'm doing is right, and I know that this is what's needed, and obviously it's working. So I can't please everyone, that's two. Second, one of my marketing techniques is that I'm not always available, meaning if a person wants to sign up and start with me today, I wish I could take her on tomorrow. But obviously, I work with my clients one to one. And that means a lot of hours are being put in, more than 15 hours in the next 3 months. And when I take that client on, she's become like my fourth child, right? So I put so much effort into her, and I can't take everyone on. So I have my set number of clients that I take on, and then I take that next batch the next 3 months. So I have 3 rounds every year, right?
Wow, okay,
So
nice.
so definitely, I mean, you can't always be available. You can't be everything to everyone. You are for one person, one product, one market, and one solution. All right, and yeah, that's a lot of. And then my number three marketing tactic is word of mouth because, like I said, you can have the best business proposal, best social media page, best graphics, and everything, but if clients are not sitting talking about their amazing experience with you, you have nothing. If you
Exactly.
didn't leave a mark with someone, if a person, this is something also very important in marketing, to see how many of your ex clients come back. So yes, she
Is it a
graduated with
good
me.
sign or a bad sign
It's an
in the health?
incredible sign. It's an incredible
Okay.
sign because you're human. After the 3 month program, a lot of people divert and go back to their old ways. But what happens 99% of the time? They come back running saying, "Oh my God, Daniel, when we went back to our old ways, we hated how we felt. The symptoms came back even worse than how they were before because our body talks to us and tells us we don't like what you're doing. So we're now coming back rushing, meaning just give us like a little follow up session because they already, I call them graduated, right? So they already
Yeah.
graduated. So let's have like a little follow up session. That's one. Or two, clients that come back because they're in different stages in their life. They wanted to manage their hormones, or then they wanted to get pregnant, or then post pregnancy and breastfeeding. So those all they could come back for that. And then number three, people that just always want to learn more. So something that's very important in being an entrepreneur or just being a human is being a forever learner. I'm a forever student. I mean, I didn't just study those 2 years of being a health coach and then did my specialty in women's hormones and that's it. I'm constantly taking courses and constantly learning and developing because if I'm a forever student, then that's the best that I could possibly be. So I have clients that tell me, Daniel, we want to keep learning. Like whatever you learn, let us know, fill us in, let's have a session. So that's a good marketing, not marketing, but that's a good, what do you call it?
It's a good
That's a good,
approach,
yeah,
and I believe that you're building the right community around you, and these people are not gonna only refer you or use your product. It's not the right word for it, but remain your clients and remain satisfied. And this is what any business would dream
yes.
of. And since we're talking about business and business insights, let's talk a bit more about the future. So, what are the challenges and opportunities you anticipate in the holistic health industry?
Okay, so a lot of some challenges that I'm seeing lately is that people are not educating themselves enough because obviously you can't go to university to learn holistic health. You go to university to learn about typical nutrition, dietitian, right? Holistic health is very new, and there's only a few places where you can get certified in that. And some people are not going to the right places and launching their business thinking that this is just going to be a big success and are giving people the wrong advice and are actually harming their bodies and without them even knowing. So that's number one. Number two, there's a fine line between being a holistic nutrition health coach and then acting as if you're their doctor. Let's not even go there. I, for example, believe that Western medicine, traditional medicine, the doctors that we see in the hospitals are legendary, are a necessity, like a necessity to life. They went to medical school for 11 years for a reason. Not for me as a health coach to come and just berate them and say that everything they're doing is wrong. No. If obviously I break my hand, I'm not going to go to a holistic health coach. If I'm giving birth, no, I'm not going to give birth at home. This is me. So we still need doctors, and rightfully so. So what I think the best combination is combining functional medicine with traditional Western medicine to see both types, both views, understanding that food is a big necessity and understanding that we also need them because obviously this is why we're surviving and we're living till the age of 100, as opposed to many years ago, people used to die in their 30s because of medicine today. So having that balance between both is essential. And holistic health coaches need to understand that. So when you get to a point where you have a blockage and you really need to divert your client to a doctor, you need to know when that needs to happen. I work hand in hand with a family medicine doctor, MD, who I send my clients blood tests to because as much as I know how to read a blood test, he's a doctor at the end of the day. And I want to know his point of view. Sometimes when I'm in a roadblock, I take him, I go to him for advice. And we work together hand in hand. So that's very important that really holistic people need to understand. And then number three, another challenge is reminding yourself of why you got into this in the first place. All of us came to this not because of the business aspect of this is going to make me money. No, you came to this because you suffered yourself, obviously, from something that you healed, and you want to give back and spread that knowledge and information in the best way possible. So when you go back to that reminder and you remind yourself of your purpose and you never let yourself get lost in between, meaning something very important about my whole philosophy is I put myself first, because if I don't put myself first, I'm not going to be a good mother, I'm not going to be a good coach to my clients. My cup needs to be filled before I pour it into others. So I prioritize my food and my exercise and my time so I can be able to give. If you're just going to keep going and giving, you're going to burn out.
And that's why in on the airplanes and the safety measures they tell
Yeah.
you you have to put your mask on first before helping others. Yeah, thank you for that reminder as well. Any opportunities that you would like to pinpoint in the holistic health industry?
Opportunities, there's so many. I mean,
That you're seeing them on the horizon? Um, are we getting collectively more aware and health driven big time? Yeah.
people are becoming so much more aware. I see people now, and I get the biggest smile on my face when I see women in the supermarket actually taking the time to like take a product, turn it around, and read the ingredients. And people never used to do that before. They used to just take whatever's on the shelf. So number one, people are becoming more aware. They're reading ingredients better. They're learning how to read ingredients, what they mean, what needs to be in your body, what should not. Number three, they're now mothers are really knowing how to feed their children. It wasn't my mom's fault. She did the best she could, but I know for a fact that my PCOS was highly driven because of the way I used to eat as a child. My sugar intake as a child was unreal. It's just because we didn't know at the time. Nobody knew at the time. And now today people know. So you're going to have a next generation of a lot of healthy kids. I mean, you
And
like it's
technology is helping also, Danya.
yeah, yeah, technology is
Currently,
helping.
social media
Yeah.
technology, AI, a lot of other factors are helping the information to be spreaded. At the same time, it's disrupting because a lot of scams, false accusations, bad marketing for I don't know which type of new products, and
Yeah.
a lot of fitness gurus are on there talking about a lot of bullshit stuff. So we have to be really
Yeah.
careful from where we're getting our information.
Definitely, definitely. I was at a Barbara O'Neill conference last week, and it was one of the best things I attended. I can't tell you how much I look up to this woman. And she said to us, she's like, guys, please like listen up and make sure you tell everyone you know. All those videos you see of me on Instagram, only half of them are real. The other half is my voice dubbed talking about a product. She's like, I've seen so many videos of me talking about ashwagandha. And
And
guess what? I've never
Shilajit,
taken, yeah, and Shilajit. And guess what? I've never taken ashwagandha or Shilajit in my life. But it
yeah,
was Barbara's voice and whatever. So always make sure, like, no, not every reel you see on Instagram, and even if it's someone reputable, it doesn't mean what they're saying is true. Technology can fool you in that way. So it is beneficial, but
it's
always make
called
sure
deep
that you go
fake.
back.
Yeah,
Exactly. So go back to an expert. I mean, and that's why people like me are here so we can tell you, yes, it's true. Yes, no, don't take this. And you can't take every single supplement you see on social media because if you have a thyroid issue, for example, there's going to be specific supplements that you think are good that are actually going to make your thyroid problems worse. So, no, you always have to revert back to an expert.
yeah, we should. In before we conclude, I know like we can go on in that
Yeah.
subject endlessly. We have a new segment on the podcast in season two, which is fire questions. And I'm gonna go ahead and start these 10 questions, and I need your direct answer on them. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Diet trend, keto or vegan?
Keto, never vegan.
Exercise preference, yoga or high intensity interval training?
It depends where you are in your cycle. It
Pick
depends.
one. Pick one.
Yoga.
It's health myth you'd debunk. Superfoods or detox diets?
Health myth debunked, detox diets.
Essential daily habit, meditation or journaling?
Meditation.
Inspiration in health, pioneering researcher or popular wellness influencer.
Pioneering researcher.
Supplement choice, probiotics or multivitamins.
Probiotic. Never multiplied.
Stress relief, aromatherapy or acoustic music.
Aromatherapy. Music. I like both.
Pick one.
Aromatherapy.
Nutrition for women, customized diet plans or general guidelines.
Customized diet plans were bio-individual.
Career if not health coaching, fashion design or business consulting.
Business consulting.
Holistic health approach, science based or traditional medicine.
Traditional medicine.
Nice. Thank you for this rapid fire questions. The answers were amazing. Thank you for the lovely episode and the whole journey. And you were amazing and you shared
Thank you.
everything. Would you like to say a few words, conclude in any way? Do you have any
Honestly,
last words? Go ahead.
I really did enjoy this. Thank you so much for having me on. As I said in the beginning, I think it's amazing what you're doing, and thank you for spreading awareness and spreading the health.
Thank you so much. And for everyone from our listeners that would like to get in touch or connect with Danya, her Instagram account and links are in the description of the video. Thank you so
Thank you.
much,
Thank you.
and I wish
Bye.
you good luck. Bye bye.